Hi, Andy.
Hey, Nicole, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great. So, we have a
Good.
question.
Good. Yes, and I'm excited to get started.
All right, so here it is. It says, "Hi guys, my boyfriend recently told me he thinks I'm addicted to social media. When we go out, I like to post pictures of us at events, and he doesn't even like them or comment. I feel like he is hiding me and just doesn't get it. He thinks I'm the problem, and now it's just causing arguments when we go out. I enjoy being seen and don't see a problem with it. Which one of us is right?" Well, that's pretty obvious.
How is that? How is
I'm
that?
just being a smart ass.
Well, neither one of them.
Yeah. Well, true. Okay, so what do you think?
Two sides to a coin. Um, I think a lot. I think a lot of things. So I'll just share my thoughts. Um, so you're out with your boyfriend. You are having a great time. You want everybody to see that you're having a great time. You want to post on social media, hey, here I am with my boyfriend. I'm having a great time.
Right.
This is causing arguments. This is causing arguments.
Yeah, well, I get it.
So, I mean, I've been out with girlfriends, even myself, and like they tagged me in a photo or whatever, and I didn't like the way I looked or whatever.
Right.
Or I just didn't feel like I didn't want people to know what I'm doing.
Right.
And so, I think I think my very first point is don't pressure people. Yeah, and social media, it's kind of built into the machine. Like if you tag someone, you have to accept the tag or
Right.
whatever. Or if you
So you
haven't
have some control
done
over
your
it.
settings, it just pops up and you're like, whoa, I didn't want that to be online.
Right.
and then you need to change your settings. But if you get a tag and you want somebody wants you to accept it, then you're put in a predicament.
Right.
Do I accept the tag?
Hmm.
Do I accept the tag? And if I don't
Wow.
like the way I look, I don't want to accept the tag.
I think these are what we call first world problems.
These are very first world problems, but they're also very real problems that obviously this person is asking about this problem because it's real. Like we don't want to feel the social pressures of, you know, I'm out to see and be seen
Right.
and kind of a thing. Sometimes we just want to go out and have a good time.
Well, sure, there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But so how do you handle this, though? I mean, in
Nothing wrong
this.
with that. So first of all, you shouldn't pressure somebody, and you should probably before you post a picture online ask them like,
Right.
hey, you might or here, if you're there at that moment. I mean, sometimes people do it after the event or whatever, but you just want to be like, hey, do you mind if I post this? Even if you send them a photo, do you mind if I post this photo?
Sign the release.
Yeah, kind of sign a release. Exactly. First ask.
Good luck with all that. That ain't ever gonna happen. With like you're
Well,
at a
no,
party and you're having there's at some dinner and everyone's drinking and they're like snapping photos or just posting them as. I mean, it's just not gonna happen.
yeah, but you can accept the tag or not. But yeah, I mean, there is a chance. I mean, it depends on. I mean, this is a boyfriend girlfriend thing,
Well, right, that's
so
different.
it's like, yeah. So that is a little bit different. So, but don't pressure someone to be like, I have to, like, we have to, like, don't pressure someone, and ask them, hey, do you mind if I take a photo? Nobody asks that anymore.
Right. Well, if it's a girlfriend boyfriend, then yeah. But you
But
should.
if you're a couple, you should ask, right?
Right, of course. Right, or have understand what those ground rules are.
Yeah, yeah. And then I think, and
So
you touched upon this before. I think the more important thing, and maybe this is the most important part of the whole question, enjoy yourself while you're out.
of course.
Have a good time. You don't have not everybody has to see what you're doing all the time. If you're having a good time, you're having a good time.
I know, but that's part of that's like woven into the fabric though. Now is taking selfies and posting it. So that's part of the good time experience is posting all that up there cuz if the world can't
If
see what
no
I'm
one,
doing, well then
if
it's
no
not going to
one
be quite
sees
as
it,
fun. If I'm not getting the clicks and the little hearts and smiley faces and thumbs up, then
Hey, that's a
I'm not
myth.
having a great time.
That's a myth, because if you're having a good time, you're having a good time. And nobody has to
True.
see you have a good time.
Well, that's
Having
how
a
I
good,
feel about it.
having a good time can be private. You don't have to have 20 likes to have a good
I
time.
agree. I'm
200
right there
likes to
with
have a
you.
good time. But I think you're right though. That's built in now. Like if it's not on, if it's not displayed, did it really happen? Yes, it did really happen. Enjoy your experience. Enjoy the experience and let it happen and let it just unfold naturally without
Yeah.
having to get technology involved.
Don't bring your phone. See, yeah, there's an experiment for you.
Well, there is this thing that I read where like people go to dinner and they just turn off their phones and put their phones at the center of the table.
Well, right. No, and I've heard the same thing with a different spin. So, you
Yeah.
put the phone in the middle of the table and the first one to pick it up picks up the bill.
Yeah,
There's some
right.
disincentive.
Yeah, there's something there. But I mean I think that's very true though. Enjoy the experience for what it is without feeling like you're having to be on display all the time.
So, but back to this case though, when it's a couple
Yeah.
and they're struggling with, he doesn't want her to do it, she wants to do it, because to her, that's part of the experience and having a good time is sharing it with everybody else.
It is, and I get that. I mean, there are moments you want to capture, you know.
Maybe
And
that's an app we could develop where you just, you would, I guess you could crop your boyfriend out of the picture, or like,
been done before.
the clone tool would like clone him into the background.
Or just make like some whoever you wanted to be your boyfriend, you could probably
Yeah, right. Just put a different head on him.
Yeah.
Then that would get everyone talking on social media then.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's out with Fernando Lamas? I thought he was dead. Oh, he is dead.
Is he?
Of course.
Well,
yeah. I think at least his father, I don't know.
well, I guess we'll find out. But like,
yes,
the important point is that though, like, you just because if a what's the saying? If a tree drops in the forest,
and nobody's there to hear it, did it really fall?
Yeah. If you went out and had a good time and nobody saw it on Facebook, did you really have a good time?
Well, hell yeah, you did.
Or Instagram or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you still did. You still had a good time. And I think, in this particular situation with relationships, it really does go back to having a conversation about how do we conduct our lives publicly, because anybody can post anything they want to about themselves, but once you feel like you're with someone,
right.
Once you feel like share a certain type of intimacy, then you need to have a conversation about like, okay, how do we want to display ourselves really? I mean, because
right.
if you have shared accounts, that's what's going to happen.
Sure.
And so I think it is about having that conversation, because women are very adamant about this. They want to be, and I think some men too. Like we all want to be seen with
right.
people. We all do want to be, at the Grammys or whatever.
Well, maybe you do. I don't care.
I don't think it would suck, but I don't know that I want that many eyes upon me either. But I think each person does have their own kind of range of emotion about this.
Sure.
It's like you said, some people don't care. I don't need to be seen. Nobody needs to know me. Nobody needs to know my name.
Right.
I just want to have a good time. That's not important to me.
Right.
But then some people do want to feel like special. They want to feel pretty. They do want to feel like they're kind of held up, like, look at me, I'm special.
Right.
And so each person gets to decide that for themselves. And I think that's what so much of the rub is like each person wants to decide that for themselves. And then they have to decide it together.
Right.
And it's the deciding together where
That's what
rubber
we're
meets
talking
the road.
about.
Yeah, it's a deciding together. And so, but what she's really saying is which one of us is wrong. And
Right.
you really can't take sides with it. You can't say, well, he's an asshole, or
Right.
you're wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. You don't have I don't know if you have a social media addiction problem. Maybe you are. Like maybe every time you do go out, all you want to do is show, show, show.
Right.
I went somewhere with someone once. I won't say where it was because they'll probably give it away, but I went somewhere with someone once and all they wanted to do was take pictures
Right.
constantly and put them out there. It bothered me. They were so focused on
It's
the
annoying.
show. It is annoying because I'm like, can we just, okay, I'll say we were at a concert and I just want to I want to listen to the music. I'm at the
Right.
concert to listen to the music
Right.
and to take in the performance, not
Sure.
be the performer, not
Right.
be the one that's on the show. I
Right.
want to watch the show.
Right.
And it was very distracting to me. It was very distracting to me because I just wanted to enjoy the moment. For all that it was, without having to, like, I don't even need to, I can capture it in my memory. I don't need to capture it on screen.
Right.
And you don't have to capture everything, but I think we're in that kind of data-driven, content-driven world where people do want to capture everything, and we need to be cognizant of that.
Yeah. So in this instance, though, how do you deal with that? I mean, it's because obviously the guy doesn't want it at all. So kind of what's the and she wants to, and so how do you?
And he's telling her that she's addicted to social media. That's a strong word, addiction. And I have some mixed feelings about this because first of all, nobody should tell you who you are. No, it could just be a fight. Like he just may not want to be seen, but he's telling her that she's addicted to it. She may just need to find another boyfriend who is as happy as a clam to be seen all kinds of places with her as he is.
Right.
I mean, there are other guys out there that there are people like her that just want to do what she's doing.
Man,
if that's what's happening here, but you know what I mean, but if somebody says, hey, you're this, you're that,
right?
I think that's a little bit of a concern because nobody should really tell you who you are. That being said, if you're out to dinner and you're taking 15 photos of the meal and your friends and everything, and you're not enjoying the dinner or you're not enjoying your time together, then I think you need to get it. I do think you do need to get a handle on it. If you're like constantly like this and then you need to calm it down. You need to, if you're taking like just tons of photos and then cropping them and then putting them through a filter.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known young girls who have like they'll spend like 30 minutes to an hour perfecting a photo and making it perfect because they want to feel good about themselves. So,
sure.
And she may be, if he's saying, you're addicted to social media, it may be that you spend a lot of time on your phone or on the different various devices, surfing and texting your friends or whatever. And maybe he just wants more attention.
Right. Well, I think that's probably part of it because if they're out and she's doing that the whole time, he's like, what about me? I'm here too.
Right. You begin to feel like you're just there for display. You're not there.
Right.
Like she's not there to really enjoy you and your company. She's just
you're a prop.
Nobody wants to feel like a prop.
Well, unless you're in the selfie. Then anyway, but yeah, so it's one of those things that should be on the dating checklist, apparently, that conversation about, your feelings about social media postings.
Yeah, well, I guess it should be on the checklist. And I think that's the thing is like people in relationships don't want to ask the questions. They don't want to ask the questions.
Because it'll come up.
It will come up. If you don't ask, it's going to come up anyway. And so you might as well ask and talk about it. It's not necessarily, I mean, you don't want to be like, okay, here are my 30 questions for myself.
Well, I know, but
Here are my 30 questions
I don't know. It's not a
up.
bad idea, maybe.
It's not a bad idea.
Because I've had it happen, just out of the blue. It hit me like got hit in the head like a ton of bricks about the posting on the social media, and I'm like, what? You're upset about that? So
yes, she was upset about it. And I think that's the thing is too, like she can be upset about it all she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be upset about it in your own way. Like, I don't want to be seen. You want me, you're upset about it. Now I'm upset about it. We could each have our own feelings about those things. And let's not should that ruin a relationship, or should that be like, should then you be calling me addicted to my cell phone and I'm saying which one of us is, and I'm writing in and saying which one of us is right or wrong because I want somebody to take sides? There's no good side here in this to me, there's no good side here.
Well, you're going to find a compromise, and because, I mean, listen, it's silly to me, the whole thing.
It may seem silly, but it's something that
I know it's a real thing.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing, and it's not silly. It's not silly. It is. There's something, and the reason why it's not silly is because there's something about it that sparks a deeper feeling.
Mm-hmm.
If you.
Well, yeah, sure.
Andy, if you're my boyfriend and I want to take a picture of us at dinner, and and you're telling me I'm addicted to social media, and don't show me, and da da da. I might just think that you just are trying to hide me. You're just trying to keep me as a side thing item, or maybe maybe we haven't been together that long, and you're trying to hide that you have other girlfriends, and maybe there's and very good point. Maybe there's other things we haven't talked about.
Well, I think that's it. What's the root of all this stuff?
What is the root of all of it? Because maybe my thought might be, if you don't want to show that we're together, maybe you have another girlfriend.
Right, exactly.
Or maybe you don't have another girlfriend, but you may want one soon.
Well, it's all your perception.
Maybe you're not so sure about how close you want to get to me, right?
Right.
And then it begins to be like a little bit of a game, a little bit of a game. Like, I like you, but I'm not sure how much, Nicole. Right. I don't know if I want to show you off. I don't know if I like you so much that we could actually be seen together. Because once you put it out there on social media, then at some point you have to take it down, or you have to you might have to take it down. I mean, I guess people can leave up whatever they want to, but I mean, I think for people who have been in long-term relationships and gone through breakups, that navigating social media is very important, because then they have to, if I have 15 years of photos with my ex or however long, then I have to decide what to do with those. And we store our histories, our life histories, and kind of telling our life story is through these accounts.
Look at the memories that pop up on Facebook. Oh, you have a memory from 2 years ago. So yeah, it's all there.
And those memories can, sometimes you might see a memory, but I'm going to delete that. That's not a memory I want to remember so much anymore. Or so yeah, I think there's something about storing them in either through a social media app or whatever, however you decide to store your photos and memories. How it's about storing memories.
Yeah.
And which memories do I want to make lasting and keep, and which ones am I just gonna
get rid of?
And I mean, it's the same thing. Like you say, then let's say you have a new girlfriend, but you have pictures of your old girlfriend online, even though you have a new girlfriend. What do you do with the old pictures?
Well, I'd suggest getting rid of them. That'd be my advice. Because that's going to lead nothing but trouble.
Yeah, and it's so interesting that we hold our memories now
with the wrong person.
Way.
Yeah.
with the wrong person. But they would hold these memories like on these platforms, these these social media platforms hold our memories.
Right.
And that's something we haven't had to cope with before, because normally our memories would just be kept in our head, or maybe in a very physical form,
Yep.
which doesn't happen so much now that we're all digitalized.
Right.
We can put these memories out to other people. We could store them online, and our whole, every time we search something, it could be looked at forensically.
Right. True.
And we don't want to store, like, that's a lot of storage space for our minds, our mental capacity. It's a lot of storage space. And we want to be really aware of what's worth really holding on to and what's worth letting go.
Well, I agree. And, it's kind of like the physical world, though. So if you break up with someone, you have, all these pictures and memories of them, a lot of people will just burn the box. So, it's kind of, you have to decide what you want to do. Do you want to burn the box, or do you just want to go and delete all the Facebook pictures?
Mm-hmm. And I think I think that's really important. Now, we're not wanting to break this couple up. I mean, naturally, they need to negotiate.
Right.
They need to negotiate. I don't know if she's addicted to social media. She probably, I think it's good to be aware, though. Like, if you're out and about, like at a social event or something, I think it's important to realize how much time you're spending on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
And with your, I think you gave the example recently. You were at a coffee shop or something, and everybody's like on their phone. There's a time to be
everywhere.
To be in interaction with other people in the natural world, and there's a time to use the tool of technology. Those are two different things.
Absolutely.
Two very different things. And we're missing something if we go back and back and back on to technology for comfort and to just constantly dip in the well there. We're missing something in real life. And so if he's saying, she's addicted to her phone, it could be that she does have her face in the phone all the time. It could be that he just doesn't want to, doesn't want the content out there that she wants. And so a lot to unwrap there. And I think why couples counseling in general is good for people with these type of questions, because you can really start to break them down and talk about it in a way that's, because people would love to say, okay, I have this issue with social media, and they want it to be as static as social media or technology is, and it's not. Usually when people come to me with a question about social media, it represents something larger that's personal, that is in their natural world that they're going on with, and that needs to be talked about and kind of unraveled. Because each of those, like, you could, they're all very personal problems.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And they all unfold in all the stories we tell online. Your problems with all that could unfold in their own way, based on your own personal experiences. And so I think it can be good to spend some time, talking with a therapist about it, and really exploring, because we do hold our lives are presented now on and stored that way. Right. And it does affect our psyche. It does affect our mental health.
So really, I think then, so it kind of boils down to, I think you have to become aware of both sides of that equation without accusing one or the other of being whatever they are, and then start that communication about, because you're going to have to come to some sort of compromise. And I guess if you can't do that, then maybe you need to talk to somebody about, figuring that out. But just be aware and start a conversation. It shouldn't be that hard.
If you're arguing about it, if you're having arguments, it's already a little bit hard.
Yeah.
And you don't want to argue. You want to communicate effectively, and so there's a breakdown in communication there, where they're not able to be nice to each other about it, and just do come to a reasonable agreement.
Yeah.
On what needs to be done.
Life's too short to be arguing about social media posts. So figure it out, people.
Well, Well, that's what we're here to help people do, is to figure it out. But life is too short. You should enjoy the moments, and you should be able to enjoy them, and then store them either in your real life memory, or make an agreement with somebody about how that's going to happen.
Thanks, Lowell. So
real life, Andy, real life.
So those two, hang on. Hey, Lowell, stop it.
Lowell, you don't want to bark.
Help it.
He's just a dog. He's just a dog.
So I just switched the camera over to you, and so it's I just want to feel like we have like a little close there. So I'm gonna just say something like, they just need to. So, maybe something like, who was it? The guy or the girl that wrote this?
This was the girl. She was like, who's?
Oh, right.
Right.
So, let me just think here for a second. So the woman that wrote this question to us, go have a conversation. Go have a civil conversation. What would you suggest? Just do it and let us know what happens, because we want you to figure it out.
Let us know what happens. It sounds like they've tried to have conversations, but they've had arguments about it. And then at some point, you have to just, you have to give people the freedom and the space to decide what they want to do. If they don't want to have the post up, or if they feel like you're not paying attention to them, I'd say try to listen as best as you can to why it is that he feels this way, and then pay attention to yourself, of course, about why you feel like you want it to be differently, and then give yourself some time. But I think the most important part of all of this is that, look, we need to understand that if you're out and about and having a good time, if you're on a date, if you're doing whatever, and you enjoy you're enjoying yourself going out, try not to worry that you're going to forget about it, or that it's not going to be stored in the memory of your mind, or that you're not that moment isn't special or captured in its own way.
Right. You
don't have to capture it on social media. You don't have to take a picture of it. Like, it's still going to be there.
Yeah.
It still happens. Still let it be real. Let it be, like, sometimes people get so wrapped up on the senses that they feel through technology that they miss out the sensual experience of real life.
Yeah.
So let yourself enjoy the real sensual experience that you have at that moment, and realize it is going to be stored in your memory, and then you can do whatever you want to with it. You don't have to save it in any particular way. You don't have to be prompted. You don't have to be pressured. You can let go and have the freedom to enjoy the experience for what it is.
So that's a great place to probably wrap up for now. That was a really good summary. We would love to keep the conversation going. So leave your comments below and we'll respond. But we want to keep this going and try to help get as many perspectives as possible here as we move forward. So if you love what we're doing, hit the subscribe button and also that little notification bell. It will give you notifications when we release new episodes. Also, tell your friends about this. It's good stuff. There's something here for everybody because we all have problems that we need to deal with. We're also on social media. Go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We'd love to have you. So thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next episode.